Joining me now is AWK Hawkins. He is the Second Amendment guy for Breitbart. And AWK, I have to ask about this article I found. Quote, CNN publishes Chinese state propaganda. The U.S. has higher crime because it lacks gun control. Is it a lack of gun control? Is that a crime problem, AWK?
Well, Jesse, good to be with you. And no, our problem, when CNN talks about how crime has spread across the country and our cities and this and that, they always leave out the word Democrat. And there's our problem. In cities like LA, Chicago, Baltimore, historically, we don't have the kind of enforcement that we see in other places. And that's what you have. You have these high gun control areas, but you talk to a police officer out of Chicago and ask them what happens when they arrest somebody. How long is it? Even if that person uses a gun, how long is it until that person is back out on the street? And that's really where our problem lies. Our problem lies in the lack of enforcement. It's almost as if Democrats pass gun control in order to create a little bit of chaos that justifies passing more gun control. That's almost what it seems like to me, Jesse.
AWK, you know what it seems like to me? It seems like to me Democrats want gun control because they want the freedom to hurt you if you don't comply. I'm sorry if I make that sound really diabolical, but that's what it seems like to me.
I don't think anything's off the table now, Jesse. I think the last 2 months have been incredible. The last 3 months, the things we've seen and the considerations that have been made by the government, and by considerations, I mean the plans that they floated to see how people react. And, you look at everything from the debacle in Afghanistan, what appears to be, in my opinion, a lack of sorrow for the loss of military lives. You take all of that together and nothing you say sounds crazy to me.
AWK, let's talk about crime for a moment, because I don't like crime numbers. I think it's terrible people have to live in these war zones. But isn't the bulk of violent crime in this country from these urban centers where they already have the strictest gun control laws imaginable?
Oh, yeah, sure enough. I remember when Trump was in office, Trump said something to the extent of the top 20 most dangerous cities in America are Democrat run. And the mainstream papers went ballistic, apoplectic. And we ran a story at Breitbart showing that these same papers had listed that the top 17 of the top 20 most dangerous cities, 17 of them have Democrat mayors. So, or Democrat leaderships. Trump was exactly right. And that's the point you're making. They already have all of that. And because of that, they have a ton of gun control, but it's not doing anything. Well, all it does is it empowers the criminal, to be honest with you. It's the best way to say it. It empowers the criminal.
All right, AWK, I'm going to show you this video we got from Australia. This is taking place in Melbourne. The Australian video is shocking. And I'll tell you, this is why, in my opinion, the founders gave us the Second Amendment, so we would never have to live in a place like this.
What a joke. You're embarrassing. You're embarrassing.
You are scaring a child.
You're embarrassing.
You are trying to make a point. She has done nothing illegal.
Leave her alone.
Stop it. She has her son with her.
You're embarrassing. Leave her alone.
Can you please not get so close to me? I was social distancing. You have come within 1.5 meters of me. I've been social distancing. Keep away from me. You just don't want me recording her.
Leave her alone. Let her hold her kid.
She has her child with her. You are disgusting. You are disgusting human beings. She has her child with her. This is appalling. Are you a mother? Are you a mother? Let her.
Obviously not an easy thing to watch, AWK, but I got to tell you, man, I watched that video this morning. I decided I was going to buy a little more ammo.
Right. I mean, there's some disturbing stuff coming out of that, right? That is very disturbing, and you watch it, and who can argue with what you said, Jesse? I mean, I've seen the police doing things there. I'm pro-police to the core. I know you are, but this stuff, I don't understand how an officer can do this. And how can an Australian officer do this to a fellow Australian? And it's like a punch in the gut watching it. At the same time, it's what you say. You know what? Our founders gave us firearms to prevent that kind of overreach and to give us a way to repel that kind of overreach. And you always hope and pray it doesn't come to that day. I know every generation has had that hope and prayer that never happens, but it is a reality that we have firearms so we can be a free people. And it does separate us from other countries.
Hey, thanks so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. You heard me. Like it, subscribe. You'll get a lot more of it and a lot more of me.